You know, I'm sick. I can't wait to rewatch my favorite childhood show. Super Robot Monkey Team. 6.4 stars? The show wasn't that weird, was it? Hey, it's Ali. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. And I don't normally rewatch shows, mostly because my to-watch list is about 10 miles long, but something deep inside of me was craving comfort. And what more comfort can you get by rewatching your old favorite childhood TV shows? And for me, that was Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, which is conveniently on Disney+. I was absolutely obsessed with the show as a kid. The show is so special to me because it's one of the few shows that I found on my own, browsing through TV channels, not the internet. I didn't find it through a recommendation through someone else, a friend, whatever. I purely found it just surfing through TV channels, as one used to do back in the day. And so that made it really special for me because none of my other friends at the time had even heard of the show either. And I would beg my dad to record DVR on the DVR. If you don't know what a DVR is, it was this system where you watch VHS tapes. And if you don't know what a VHS tape is, you're probably 5. But anyway, so I would ask him so much to just record it for me, because this is prehistoric recording television. What do y'all know about recording television? Back when shit wasn't on demand. So this is the first ages of recording a TV show or something. And I would beg him, and it was such a long setup. This is how I know it was a labor of love. It was such a long setup to record a TV show on a DVR, and you had to do it all at the right time in the right place. Anyway, needless to say, the fact that he did that for me was just such a child. It's just such a precious childhood memory that I hold really special, in a special place to my heart. And I was I want to watch Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go because I'm sick right now, if you cannot tell. And I just wanted something comforting. And then I went to go find it somewhere, and it has 6.4 stars. And of course, you're a child and you're this show was so good. How could it only have 6.4 stars? But then I realized I haven't watched it since I was a child. And the show was on Jetix. We should talk about Jetix. Jetix was a sub-channel of the Disney Channel that ran from 2004 to 2009 before it changed to Disney XD. Fun fact, I did not know what the XD and Disney XD stood for way too long. I was born in the year 2000. I practically grew up with the internet, and yet I did not know what XD meant for way too long. I thought it meant extreme or something, extreme definition or something. I don't know. It's just the laughing face. But it doesn't look like the laughing face. I don't need to roast 9-year-old me anymore. Anyway, Jetix was made to compete directly with Cartoon Network's Toonami block, which, if you don't know, Toonami is this iconic block of television where Cartoon Network would show anime. And this could range anything from Western style anime, such as the Gone Too Soon Symbiotic Titans, rest in peace, to actual anime like Naruto and Inuyasha. And so if you were an anime fan as a kid, as I was, this was a really big deal to stay up really late to watch Toonami's Cartoon Network block. That was a big deal. So obviously Disney wanted to compete, and so they're we can do the same thing. However, I will say this, there were only a handful of times that Disney actually got any actual license to any actual popular anime, and one of those was Naruto Shippuden. They had, I don't know if you know this fun fact, but they had access to Naruto Shippuden for a while. Disney XD did by the time Jetix was gone, but they had rights to Pokemon, and they had rights to air these shows. They didn't do any alterations to these shows, but they had the rights to air these shows. But when it came to Jetix, it was a lot of more Western style anime shows, such as Puka, Yin Yang Yo, Power Rangers, lots and lots of Power Rangers, and of course Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. And I want to take you through the first episode today because it is so gorgeous. This is such a late intro, but hey, if at any time you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe because I make videos out like this all the time. And let's jump into the first episode of Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Let me know down in the comments if you've heard of the show, because I feel like sometimes I am the only one. Let's jump into it. So right off the bat, you're going to recognize Chiro's voice, who is the main character. He is voiced by the voice actor of Beast Boy. We know and love our Beast Boy. Mark Hamill is also in this. He plays the big bad villain in this. I'm just saying, it's going to be a pretty iconic cartoon when Mark Hamill is the voice of the villain. I'm just saying. So the episode opens, and it's one of those shows that don't have a proper like introductory pilot episode. Like I don't know what the exact pilot was for this show, but like the first episode is not I'm introducing you to this world, to these monkeys. We're just hopping right in it. And honestly, I prefer this, especially when it comes to serialized cartoons, because I want you through character writing and through like events that happen throughout the show to show me these characters' personalities. And that's exactly what happens immediately in the first like scene. Chiro and the red monkey, whose name I forget. I'm so sorry. Spark. His name was Spark. I didn't have to look it up. His name is Spark because he has like one of those names that's like SP39 whatever. His name is Spark. Chiro and Spark are trying to clean the robot. So this is the first like instance we get. Again, this is like a complete cold open. Not even the theme song plays yet. So this is the first instance we get of like Chiro's dynamic with the rest of the monkeys. All of the monkeys at this point have some type of speaking role in this scene, and so you get to really see the like dynamics and the personalities of the monkeys. Yes, they are robot monkeys. It's in the title. Anyway, they all have pretty like, I don't want to say generic. They all have like pretty stereotypical like personalities for like, you know, the red guy, the black guy, the black, I was gonna say black monkey, but I feel like that's worse. You know, him. They have you know, anyway, the red monkey who's like really cool and suave and is like the weapons expert pretty much. You have the blue monkey who's like super smart. You have the black monkey. I cannot say that with a straight face. You have him who's like the wise guy. You know, wait a minute. We're not going to talk about it. And the yellow monkey who's the girl. And the green monkey who's dumb. Anyway, pretty generic like personalities for these characters like to fall into. And then you have Chiro, who is a teenage boy who obviously has a lot to learn. Like he's very powerful. He's pretty OP. Literally at some point during the episode, they say that the team cannot function without Chiro. Like literally they cannot function without him. Like they can fight on their own, but they cannot function without him, which is like, why? I guess that like shows for Chiro's like his character development. Like it shows the like responsibility that he has to take on now that he's in this position. But it's just also like, why can't y'all? I guess because he's the heart of the robot, and if they need the robot to fight people. But it's like, I don't know. It's really weird that they're dependent on this like child, which is a theme we see in a lot of these like types of shows where it's like the whole world is dependent on this child. Like Powerpuff Girls, for example. You know how many times the city of Townsville went after the Powerpuff Girls and got mad at them for the things that they were doing? A monkey, speaking of monkeys, would have overtaken your city by now. And you have the nerve to be rude to the little girls, the literal children who are saving your lives. I don't know. I just find that really weird in these types of shows. It always happens. Like at some point the city like turns on the main character and the main character is like a child and it's like weird. It's really weird. So anyway, Chiro like almost falls to his death because he sees a pretty girl, and whatever power washer they were using apparently has the force of a bullet because it snaps the ropes that he was using to like suspend himself. So he almost dies. But luckily all the monkeys saved them, you know, teamwork. And he's like, oh my God, that girl was so cute. I want to go after her. And he goes after her and they go on a date. Moving at lightning speed. This episode is like 20 minutes long and it's still moving at lightning speed. So him and this girl whose name is Jinmei and who also has a monkey is going on this date, and thus follows a montage of them just falling in love with each other. And through this montage we see a lot of the city because they go throughout the city. They go to this burger place that has floating burgers and like eats like the patty, the bun, the lettuce and whatever. It's like floating and they're trying to put condiments on it and they fail and they end up like squirting condiments all over themselves. How do you eat a burger at that place? Like how are you supposed to like put it on there and then grab it and then eat it? Like how do you eat it? Because then they go to an ice cream shop where it's the same thing and they're eating like this ball of ice cream that's not attached to its cone. It's like floating, and then they're licking the ice cream. First of all, two people licking on one ice cream cone, that's nasty as hell. But like how do you eat that? How are you supposed to eat? The city makes no sense. It's this like cyberpunk futuristic city and it looks really cool, but the logistics of everything don't make sense. Like the city is named Sugazoom City. I don't know if that's supposed to mean something, but Sugar Zoom City. All right. Also, missed opportunity with the robot. The robot, I feel like, should have been shaped like a monkey. Instead, it's just shaped like a very generic toy robot. Very missed opportunity, especially for toy sales. Like, you think like the robot would be like the biggest thing that they put the most design effort into, but it's just a robot. Like, it's just a plain toy robot. I'm like, it should have been shaped like a monkey at least, and have like a tail or something. No, it's just shaped like a boring toy robot. Someone fumbled the bag there. So in this, Chiro is clearly blowing off his duties to like go hang out with this girl. And it's supposed to be this whole thing. The monkeys are like, where is he? He's supposed to help us with blank, blank, blank. Again, showing that these monkeys cannot function. These ancient wise monkeys cannot function without Chiro at all. So they're pretty upset that Chiro is like blowing off his duties to go hang with this girl. The big bad skeleton dude, whose name I forget. It's literally just the Skeleton King. Anyway, the Skeleton King decides he wants to attack the city, and he's like, you better bring your monkeys out, otherwise I'm going to attack the city. His design is really cool, as well as his little skeleton soldiers that are on motorcycles. Also, the music that plays during this moment. Like, I love Western style anime, like, for a reason. I love the soundtracks that come with a lot of these different shows. It always flips between, like, hip-hop, because, like, you're catering to, like, a more American culture, so it's always like between like hip-hop, like adventure like type music, really nice pop music. It's like you always get like an amalgamation of like cultures with the music, and it's really nice. Like a hip-hop track like plays during this, and like I'm just saying, they played this at a like early 2000s rave club, I don't think anybody would notice. So yeah, the monkeys, like I said, cannot function without Chiro, so they get their asses beat. They thoroughly get their asses beat, and they're like, where's Chiro? We need him. I hope he comes soon. And he's like the Skeleton King is messing up the city and all that. And he's like, well, we can't do anything. We fought our best, which is cool to see the monkeys like separate powers, but they're just like, we need Chiro. Oh, well, guess the town's just going to be wrecked havoc while we wait on Chiro. Eventually the battle comes to Chiro. The little monkey dude who's been hanging out with them tells them that there is a battle happening, which like put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. So Chiro goes out there and he starts fighting, and he starts like showing off to like Jinmei, who has like hard eyes in her eyes. She's like, oh my god, he's so cute, and this is fine, except that the person who served them ice cream, who looks way older than Chiro and Jinmei, both Chiro and Jinmei look to be about like 13, maybe even like younger than that, but this girl who served them ice cream looks way older than them. She looks like an actual teenager, maybe even an adult. Why did she have hard eyes in her eyes too? Like, she did not look the same age as them. There is no secret identity for Chiro. Chiro just turns into, I guess, I don't even know what to call it. I don't think he doesn't have a secret identity. He's just like a part of this team. He's the leader of the monkey force, I guess, whatever. So he doesn't have like a secret identity. So you watch this child turn into this. You can't even say, oh, I thought he was the secret identity dude. No. Why does she have heart? It just was a weird moment. A very weird moment. Anyway, he shows off. He defeats the monkey single-handedly. He single-handedly defeats the Skeleton King, which is like, I'm sure that won't come into play later with his own ego, but whatever. He defeats them, and then the monkeys are like, hey dude, where were you? You kind of blew us off. And he's like, anyway, Jinmei's coming. Like, he literally is like, sorry, I was with Jinmei, and now she's coming into our secret base, guys. That's such a great idea. And so Jinmei comes in, the little tiny monkey scurries off to go do whatever, and he makes her this little robot thing, which is a great show of his character and like his personality. Like, he's pretty smart, he knows what he's doing, he can make little like inventions and stuff like that, which is really cute. But the monkey turns out was evil. Who would have thought? The little monkey was evil. He's a little spy getting the schematics of the robot ship. And so we cut to this monkey starts speaking to the Skeleton King, and it has a German accent. That was a choice. Why? Like, no one else has any like crazy accent in this show. Why did the monkey have this like deep male German accent? And the big twist of the episode isn't that the monkey is evil. I mean, it is, but also the fact that Jinmei is a robot. She's just a robot. You think that the robot monkeys would have been able to clock that the robot girl was a robot, but they weren't able to? I'm starting to question the integrity of these monkeys. I really am. The Skeleton King, does what enemies do and manipulates children. That's always like a theme in these shows, is that adults manipulating children. It's weird. We're gonna talk about it one day when I talk about Teen Titans. We're gonna talk about it, because why? Anyway. So he's saying that I took you in from space. You were just floating through space. I took you in, made you who you are today. And guess what? Chiro hates you because he found out you were a robot. So you should totally kill the monkey team. So they turn Jinmei into this like big giant fighting kaiju robot, and she looks great. Again, like, I'm starting to notice that every other design in this show is great except for the main like robot design. Why is the main robot design really boring? I do not understand it, because she looks great. Like, her little pigtails turn into like razor blades. It's really cool. The colors are cool. What are we doing? He's in baby jail, which is my arms. Oh, he's purring. Babes, I'm talking about robot monkeys right now. I need you to... Baby jail. Baby jail, do you have something to say? No. Okay. Oh, you want to hold it? Here. No? Oh, you have something to say? Can we hear you purr? I wish you could see the way he looks right now. Anyway, in early 2000s kid action show fashion, they win. He speaks to Jinmei from the heart, but the monkey, the little evil monkey, is controlling her. What are we doing? The little evil monkey is controlling her, and they defeat the little evil monkey by just blasting him to space. And then so Jinmei is like, oh, I need to go find out who I am and where I came from. Something that was really cute that I forgot to say earlier was that they said this little thing at the end of their date. Chiro's like, oh, I don't want to say goodbye. And then Jinmei goes, so then don't. See you later. And then at the end of the episode, Jinmei goes, I don't want to say goodbye. And Chiro goes, so then don't. See you later. That was cute. Anyway, the monkey goes back to the Skeleton King and is like, sorry, can I get one more chance? And the Skeleton King is like, no, and sends him to the Shadow Realm. The monkey I was like really concerned. I was like, where is that monkey going? But yeah, you know, Chiro learns a lesson. He's better for it. He'll be a better team member for it. Probably not. There's like 56 episodes. He's gonna have a lot of lessons to learn. And the show ends. Yeah, the theme song. I didn't talk about the theme song. So the theme song plays like partway through the first episode, and it's your little introduction, like, oh, I was just a kid, and then I found this robot, and now I have monkey powers, and now we protect the world. And then they play this bomb ass theme song. I don't know if I can play it, but let me do my beautiful rendition for you. Super Robo Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Anyway, it's very catchy. And that's the episode, and that's the show. It just goes on like that, and it gets crazier and crazier. Clones happen at some point. So yeah, this show it actually holds up very well, surprisingly. There's nothing in there that makes me go like I wouldn't want to watch this past episode 1. In fact, I have been watching it pretty recently. So if you want like a full review of the actual plot of the show towards the end, when I finish the show, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that's the show. It holds up really well, honestly, in my opinion. It has definitely elements there of like, oh, this is an early 2000s like kid show, but it's so nostalgic in the best way possible. Like, it's not like those other shows that you watch and you're like, I don't know. Like, you rewatch an old kid show and you're just like, I don't know about that one. And honestly, I am so cautious to rewatch an old show that I hold very close to my heart, because mostly I'm like, what if the show doesn't hold up? What if the jokes don't hold up? What if the jokes are like offensive now? What if the voice actors are like groomers now? These are things I have to worry about in the year of our Lord 2023, you know? So sometimes I just like, it's nice to just have that thing that was in my head and have it stay the way that it was in my head. You know, people always talk about if I could go back and relive my childhood. It's like, would you though? Would you actually want to though? I don't think so. I know I wouldn't. Anyway, so, but going back and rewatching the show, I was really happy. It brought back a lot of memories. Just sitting down, like the labor of love that my dad would do in order to like just make sure the show was recorded for me, and I'd be sitting there in the basement, all happy, eating some popcorn, watching this show, like. It just brought back really fond memories, and I'm glad like the show still holds up today. I'm glad it's not. I mean, I didn't look into the whole voice actor thing, and I don't want to. Frankly, I don't want to. And regardless if I keep watching the show, and I will keep watching the show, but regardless if the show ends up actually being any quote-unquote good, especially in today's standards with cartoons, I'm glad that I rewatched it. I'm glad that I have like this piece of media that I can look back on and go like, this was a piece of media in my childhood. Whether or not you think it was good or not, you know, 6.4 stars doesn't really matter, because I am still to this day thoroughly entertained by it. And I think that's kind of all that matters. And of course, it was a lot of my first introduction into anime and Western anime and Eastern anime at that. So that also is why it holds such a special place in my heart, because honestly, without this show, I would not be into all of this. And I probably wouldn't be here. So I think about that type of stuff a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way into the end. If you did, you are a real one. If you like this type of format where I dissect an old show, like the first episode of an old show, let me know. I feel like we often remember the really good episodes of a show, and then suddenly we actually go back and rewatch the very first episode of that show, and we're like, wait a minute, huh? Like, I really expected this show to be based off of the, like, the reviews and stuff. I was expecting this show to be really weird. And it wasn't. It was just like how I remember it, which is crazy because that's usually not what happens with nostalgia. I would love to do this with other shows. Like Powerpuff Girls, I might actually just go off and do that with the Powerpuff Girls, if we're being honest. So let me know if you're into that down below. Let me know if you've heard of this show, or if there's any other show that you feel the way I feel about it. Like you're kind of afraid to rewatch it because you're like, is this going to hold up? You should probably just rewatch it anyway. I'm sure it'll be a fun watch regardless or not if it's good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. All of my socials will be linked down in the description below. Let's start a conversation. You can reach me. It's mostly Ali Dreamer on everything except for Tumblr. It's Captain of Wonder, and I'm not changing it. I probably should as like I start to grow my social media platforms, but like I'm not right now. I'm really attached to that username. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Peace.